So when last we met, we had this cool robot function. Now we're going to use it a little bit. So for that, what we're going to do is we're going to learn another new function. This is a special function built into p5.js called mouse pressed. So again, you'll notice I'm going to put my cursor where I'm not inside of setup, so not between the setup curly braces, and I'm also not inside of draw robot. I'm just going to put it right here. I'm going to use the function keyword again, and the mouse pressed function, just like that. So now mouse pressed is special. So now setup runs one time automatically when the program starts to run. When I call another function, so draw robot runs when I call it. Mouse pressed will actually run every time that I click the mouse. So if I click the mouse, it's like I've got a call to the mouse pressed function. So every time I click the mouse, it will call the mouse pressed function. So I'm going to get rid of these robots. I just want one robot, and I'm going to take robot out of the setup function. I'm going to put robot inside of the draw function. So far, so good. So now you'll notice setup, all setup is doing is creating the canvas and drawing our background. So now when I run it, that's all we see. We don't draw a robot because we haven't called the draw robot function yet. But if I click on my canvas, I will now instantly call the draw robot function. So far, so good. And that means I will draw the robot. And if I click again, I'm just drawing more copies of the robot on top of the old copy of the robot. So it's not very, very interesting. But there are a couple of special variables that work with mouse pressed. And one of them is called mouse X, just like that. And the other one is called mouse Y, just like that. So far, so good. So now when I click it, if I click my mouse, I will actually draw, every time I click it, I will draw a new robot wherever the cursor is. So what mouse X and mouse Y are the actual X and Y location of the cursor when the mouse, in this case, when the mouse is pressed. So I press mouse pressed, and it instantly draws a robot at mouse X, comma, mouse Y. Pretty cool, eh? So this is mouse press function. Now, inside of our reference, we're going to jump to our reference real quick. I want you to look a little bit at some of the other mouse functions. So where are our mouse functions? We're going to scroll through. I can't find them. So I'm just going to hit Command F on my keyboard and type in MOUSE. And there we go, under Events. Under Events, we have some mouse functions. Now, which of these are functions? We've got this whole column here. Some of these are functions and some of these are variables, okay? So mouse X and mouse Y, I could click that and you would see system variable mouse X always contains the current horizontal position of the mouse relative to the origin. Okay, not so bad, right? So that's what mouse X is. Oh, and I lost my events. Where'd we go? There we go. And mouse Y is going to be very similar. Now, down here, we can see these are functions. How do we know these are all functions? Because they have parentheses. If they're followed by parentheses, they are a function. And so what you're going to do is just play a little bit. Play with mouse pressed, play with mouse dragged, play mouse moved, play with all of those, and just see what you see. So you can actually go back in, and you can change mouse pressed to be one of the other mouse functions to see what they do. So just play a little bit and see what they do. At the end of the day, the most common ones we're going to probably play with are going to be mouse dragged and mouse pressed, but maybe you'll have a reason for wanting to know that these other ones exist. All right, so that's what I want you to do right now. So I want you to play a little bit with the mouse functions and make it so that no matter where you click on the canvas, you can draw a new copy of your robot.